Welcome everyone to another episode of Alpha Bytes, where I go over some interesting things in the crypto ecosystem, some stuff that could potentially make you money and some stuff that could potentially save you some money. So leave a like down below if you want to see a continuation of this series. So the first thing I wanted to talk about today is MarginFi. So they put out this interesting tweet introducing margin points. So effectively, MarginFi is a money market that you can use on Solana, but they're introducing this points system, which basically is going to end up being some sort of airdrop in the future as well. So the more you interact with MarginFi products, you'll earn points reflecting your engagement, like as it says here. So there are some key rules for points. All points are equal, bigger is better, so more money, more points, longer is better. So the longer that you have your money interacting with MarginFi products, the more points that you'll receive overall. So the first part you have here is the lending points. So all deposits on MarginFi earn points. Tracking for this began at the launch of VT, and if you've had money deposited for months, you've been earning points the whole time, 1 point per dollar per day. Borrowing points. Borrowers earn 4 points per dollar borrowed per day. Borrowers are also getting lending points from their loan collateral. So remember, 1 lending point equals 1 borrowing point, more money, more points, and more time, more points. And also, if you do referrals as well, you get more points as well. And so if we just take a look at MarginFi, this is what it looks like. Basically, a very standard money market, but this is eventually going to become more than this in the future, but this is what we have for right now. As you can see, a lot of people have accumulated a lot of points. In terms of TVL, there isn't that much here, so this is still very much under the radar. And so if you're seeing this, you're going to be one of the few people who's actually doing this right now. So we have some interesting things that you could do here as well to boost the amount of points that you actually have. So first of all, you could deposit USDT and earn that supply APY, and then borrow USDC. And with that USDC, you can then convert it into USDT and redeposit it into the protocol as more collateral, and then borrow more USDC. So you're doing this sort of recursive lending and borrowing loop, and you're not going to get liquidated because they're both stable coins, all right? And in the rare case that this would happen, I think if you use max leverage, they'd need to depeg from each other by like. So the process is deposit USDT, borrow USDC, convert that into USDT, redeposit again, and then borrow more USDC. And so you're massively amplifying the amount of points you're actually going to get. The last thing I wanted to talk about today is just privacy projects, just generally. So we have this tweet here saying, if you want to protect your data privacy, highly recommend Railgun project, the best ZK project for privacy finance. No one should be profiting off of your wallet data except you. Now, this is an interesting thing because I think the actual addressable market for stuff like this is extremely low if you actually break it down. People think that privacy is extremely important and loads of people will use it, but the reality is that not that many people use it, and I'm extremely bearish on the idea long term. Because if you think about it, right, if you're a big institution, you're not using any of this privacy stuff because you're going to have to prove to the government that you are not engaging in any shady business, money laundering, or like financing of bad people. So you're not going to be using stuff like Railgun. You're not going to be using stuff like Monero. And if you're the ordinary person and you're using this privacy stuff, you're going to have a hard time proving that you're not basically committing tax fraud to your like local tax authority, and they're going to come down on you if it is shown that you're like using Monero or some of these other like mixes, like Tornado Cash, for example. I know that you get sanctioned in the US if you're using it. I know that in the US you can get in big trouble for using Tornado Cash. And in terms of privacy coins here, all of these have performed extremely badly against like Ethereum and Bitcoin over time. And none of these are anything that you are going to have to pay attention to in the future. I mean, what are these coins? Iridium, Zero, Turtle Coin, Litecash, Digibyte. All of these coins are just basically irrelevant if you think about it. And even the top privacy coin here, we have Monero. If you just looked at the price of it against USD, yeah, it's done well since, like, you know, the initial inception of Monero. But since 2017, 2018, no one's really cared about it. And if you put it against ETH, it's massively underperformed. So yeah, that was my little rant on Monero and privacy tokens. And I think for the most part, you should stay away from them because there really is no benefit to touching them. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and make sure to subscribe for more videos like this one.